So Chiang Mai is one of the top digital nomad spots in the world. Tell me a little bit why you're in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, absolutely. So I came to Chiang Mai for the first time last year around November time. The job I was currently in, or the job I was in at that time, allowed me to travel for 2 months a year anywhere in the world. I initially picked Bali, actually, where you are at the moment. And then a friend convinced me not to go to Bali. So I still have yet to go to Bali and end up in Thailand. I used ChatGPT plus a lot of different like references and articles to find Chiang Mai. And I ended up here for about a month last year. Loved it and keep coming back. I think this is my third time back. This, I guess, within a year.
Why do you love Chiang Mai? What is it about it specifically?
Yeah, I think Chiang Mai for me is a place I feel safe. It's a place I can be myself. In London, it's a big city. You are always kind of on edge a little bit out there. And being from there, I do love the place. But getting to explore Southeast Asia is awesome. Chiang Mai is an amazing base. The people are lovely. The food is insanely good. And there's so much variety out here, not only for people who are Western, but also people who are Thai as well. And there's lots of Thai people that come from other places in Thailand to Chiang Mai as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. Chiang Mai is such a cool place. The food is amazing and it's on every street corner, the street food and the market, the night market and all that. It's just such an amazing place to eat and hang out and enjoy. And then I guess it's been a while since I've been there. So before COVID was the last time I was in Chiang Mai, and it's since then blown up as a digital nomad hotspot. Do you guys have a lot of like community as far as like co-working spaces and events and stuff for digital nomads there?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's tons of co-working spaces all around town, lots of cafes as well. I'm a bit biased because I'm also a community manager, volunteering as a community manager here in Chiang Mai at a place called Alt, which is awesome. It's the place
Okay.
I've always stayed at when I'm here, although now I'm in an apartment. I think it's a great place. And there's a different flavor of co-workings and co-livings for different personalities and different wants as well. There's ones where you do deep work. There's ones where you're just having fun, but each one of them has a bit of their own community as well. And we all kind of mix up together. So there might be a day where you want to go to a co-working and just play board games after work, for instance. There's a place for that.
Okay.
There's a place where if you just want to do deep work and just that's all you need to do today and you just want to get lunch and want to get dinner with some people around you, there's places for that too. So yeah, it's a good mix from day to day.
Yeah, I agree. I think each co-working space definitely has their own vibes. And the one that I was here in Uluwatu in Bali just this week was very, everyone was head down, just getting work done. And I just went ahead and paid for a half a day and I was in there for 4 hours and I knocked out way more work than I definitely would have done if I just stayed at my Airbnb that day. So sometimes that's just what you need. And then sometimes it's just more laid back vibes. You have more people available to, talk and hang out and more networking and more events and stuff. So yeah, I do like that. You also mentioned co-living. Have you spent a lot of time in different co-living spaces?
So I've spent most of my co-living time I spent is in Alt Chiang Mai and Alt Ping River
Okay.
in Chiang Mai.
Okay.
And then I visited other co-livings. So like in Bansko, there's co-living Valentina and there's co-living Bansko, which I visited and both are great as well. But I haven't stayed in those co-livings, but I've used their co-working areas.
From the co-livings that you have stayed in, what would you say is some of the benefits and some of the drawbacks from just let's say having your own apartment and going to co-working?
Yeah, for me it's the community. It's one of the reasons why I initially stayed in a co-living last year specifically, and then continue doing that. Having that community there is amazing because you've got people that want to discover the place. You've got people who have been there for maybe a couple of months and know a bit more than everyone else around you. So the community is always informing itself about different things around there. Plus the benefit of having local people as staff as well that can give you an insight into other things in Thailand to go to that you wouldn't really even hear about if you were just staying in an apartment Googling. So I think that's a really, for me at least, that's a really key benefit.
Yeah, I like that. It's kind of like when you stay in a hostel, you have those minds around you that you can find cool places and other things. But co-living tends to be a much more chill place than a hostel, a little bit older crowd, and definitely folks are more, there to live and work instead of just kind of on vacation. And some of the, hostels might have a co-working space, but I've been in some hostels with co-working spaces where the DJ music is so loud, it's coming through the walls of the co-working space. And I'm like, well, this doesn't really work. I don't know what they're trying to do here. But yeah,
I guess it works if you're co-working as a DJ. But other than that,
yeah, I guess. But I don't know too many folks that are doing that, not remotely, at least. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think the co-living arrangement is a cool thing, and I still have not tried it yet. So I need to get that on my bucket list.
I got to do it. I think some of my like best friends that I'd say that I travel with or I go to different countries to see are some of the people I've met in co-livings.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. Yeah. Well, and you just have the time to get to know people, right? Because you're living and working together and doing events. So like you get to just get that deeper connection with folks and really build that community. And I think that's what draws people to it most. So you mentioned Banksco. And I was looking on your Instagram recently. So were you the MC at Banksco?
I was one of 3 MCs. So I emceed the park stage at Banksco Nomad Fest, and then the 2 other MCs handled the main stages. It was a lot of fun. My first year emceeing Banksco, but a lot of fun, a lot of digital nomads, a lot of different events, but amazing times.
I can imagine. So was that paid work? Was that volunteer work? What did your days look like?
Yeah, for me in this case, it was volunteers. This is the first time I was doing it for Banksco, but normally I am an MC. I'm an event MC, conference MC, whatever you want to call it. So that's something I do professionally as well. But for this, it was more an opportunity to be part of the Nomad community, not just at the conference, but on stage at the conference as well. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah,
it looks like a great place to check out, and it's definitely going to be on my list for future festivals. I haven't been to a Nomad festival per se yet. So also looking forward to that as well. From watching everyone's Instagram that I follow that had been at Banksco, it looked like just an amazing time. Take us back to the moment when you realized that digital nomad life was going to be for you. Is there a specific moment in time that you realized that this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I guess I can give you I'll give you a long and short answer this one if you like. So I've been moving since I've been moving since I was about 12 years old, through my parents having contracts in different countries, usually moving between the US and UK, but different areas, and moving like once every year or 2 years. And then even in London, when I was just by myself, I was moving to different areas within London as well every 2 years, which is a bit unusual for Londoners. We usually stick to one area. But for me, I guess I grew up moving from place to place. So subconsciously, I really wanted to do the same thing, even in the same country. But that's like sort of the backstory. Actually getting to Chiang Mai, going out and digital nomading and making that big decision to do this full time actually came about a year and a half ago. I was in an apartment. The rent got raised by, I think, about £1,000, which is ridiculous because the rent was about £1,000. So it would have added 500 more pounds to my rent because I was sharing with one other person, which made it really unaffordable. It's not like anything was changing in the apartment. It was just the market that was changing. Beautiful apartment though. And I decided to go out on my own to get an apartment, and that ended up being way too pricey. I ended up losing out on an apartment last minute. So I was like, okay, you know what? Screw renting. I'm going to try and buy a house somewhere affordable in the UK, which is probably in the countryside somewhere away from everything else. But the plan was get a house, have a dog, be like walking distance to a pub. That was like my life goal at that point. New government came in and like mortgage rates skyrocketed. I was like, shit. I waited too long to like buy a house or even try and buy a house. So my options were renting and mortgage just went out the door. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's use this policy of 2 months a year at my job to test this out. So Chiang Mai last year was complete test of can I do my job remotely? I know I'm fine traveling. That's not a big issue for me because I'd grown up doing that. But actually, can I work productively while not being like in my house or not being, at my desk without, moving around each day, for instance? And that worked out really well. And then, and now I'm doing it all the time. But that's where that decision making came in. And the thing in the back of my head is, as long as it's cheaper than rent in London, which is pretty much everywhere in the world, then I'm good for it.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people don't realize that it can, especially if you come from a place that has a high cost of living, traveling and living this lifestyle is usually more affordable than living at home, which is crazy. You wouldn't think that, everyone thinks you're just rich because you're traveling the world all the time and on vacation all the time. But
yeah, it's what people
definitely
think.
Not the case. Yeah. It's so crazy. But you did mention something in there that I wanted to ask about. You said something about, to the extent of, there was a program. Was there a program or availability to take 2 months?
Are you tired of trading your time for a paycheck and a job that drains your soul? What if I told you in as little as 30 days you could be working fully remote, whether that be a beach in Thailand or a mountainside cafe in Peru? Hi, I'm Ryan. I've been a digital nomad for over 8 years, working for 23 US states and 24 countries. Through my one-on-one coaching, I've helped countless people create a life of freedom through remote work. I've spent the past 9 months creating the ultimate step-by-step masterclass to help you go from being stuck in your 9 to 5 to fully remote. This isn't just a dream. This has worked for so many others, and it can work for you too. Please click the button below, get instant access to the masterclass, and start living the life of your dreams today.
With your current work?
Yeah, at my previous employer, there was just a policy that allowed us to remote work from anywhere in the world 2 months a year, per calendar year, actually. And that enabled people to go back and see their family if they were from a different country, work from family homes, things like that. In my case, I'm from London, so I wasn't going anywhere. And when I looked at it initially, I was like, well, if I go to another country, I'm still going to be paying rent on my apartment. It's going to be really expensive to do that. And in my case, I guess, it's a privileged position to be in where my parents had a spare room. So I moved back into a spare room for a bit. Not the most ideal choice, but it's the only choice I had at the time because rent was so high. And I needed to make that transition into either buying a house or renting another place somewhere way out of London or making the move into remote.
Okay. That's cool. So yeah, that's really awesome that your job allowed for that and to be able to take advantage of that. So what were you doing at that point and what was that job?
Yeah, sure. So I was a senior product designer.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this episode useful, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. You can hear all the full episodes of Digital Nomad Nation wherever you listen to podcasts. Drop your key takeaway in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, you're only one bold decision away from a life full of freedom.